IVM.
Hey, I just lost my wallet. Now I need to call the bank and block my card right away.
Ah, man. But wait, why call when you can do it from the bobWorld app itself?
Okay, I can block the card, but what about requesting a new one?
What are you, 50? This is a digital world. You can not only use the app for cards but for various other things as well. The app saves your effort, provides rewards, and many more services right at your fingertips. So ease up and enjoy the digital world of Bob. For more information, download the Bob World app from Play Store or Apple Store. Bank of Baroda. We live in your world.
Hi, welcome to Fintalks at bobWorld, presented by Bank of Baroda, India's international bank. I'm your host, Akhil Handa, the Chief Digital Officer at Bank of Baroda. And today we are very excited to have a young, enterprising leader, Gurjodhpal Singh, who is the CEO of Tide India. And we hope to have a fantastic conversation. So, welcome, Gurjot.
Thank you, Akhil. Thanks for having us here, and look forward to the discussion, and look forward to learning and sharing in the session.
Excellent. So let's start off with first your journey, Gurjot. And you were at PayU till recently. PayU seems to be a fantastic springing board of entrepreneurs, intrapreneurs of all sorts. So tell me, what did you do at PayU, and how come you ended up at Tide?
Absolutely. So, I prior to Tide, I spent around 7.5 years at PayU. My journey started in very early days of PayU when it was part of IBIBO group. So, we are part of NASPER's group, and we started out as part of IBIBO group, and then we set up a separate fintech firm within the NASPER's group to which we were aligned. So I built out, I was the founder of SME business at PayU. I built out that business from scratch and ran it for around 4 years. And in the process, I built out products like PayU Money, which was a payments solution for SMEs. And this was at that point in time back in 2013, quite a pain point to be solved for SMEs, which was enabling them to collect digitally. That's what I did. We had close to 500,000 SMEs on the platform by the time I left running this business. And during my second part of my stint at PayU, I worked closely with our NASPER's M&A team, and I was responsible for integrating our investments in the India market. So I worked on integration of Citrus, the likes of Wibmo, to name a few. And as well as one of our European investments was into an organization called Creditech, which had to set up shop in India. So I did that stuff in the later half of my journey at PayU. As you mentioned, a bunch of founders have come out of PayU. I believe Naspers is an amazing investor. It essentially pushes entrepreneurship in the organizations, and I think that's the outcome of it. There are a bunch of very independent leaders who have built good products solving for pain points in the ecosystem, and very, very proud to be part of that group and that journey.
Great. I'm sure Naspers is very happy listening to you. But yes, I have also come across a very similar thing from Naspers, and of course the people who've come out of the Naspers ecosystem, the larger ecosystem. So great. Let's talk about Tide now. Tide, I believe, is helping SMEs. It's a neo bank for SMEs. Of course, is it the right way to think about Tide? And if you can help us, just take us through the journey of Tide in perhaps your parent market, UK.
Absolutely. So, see, Tide is, of course, a challenger bank focusing just on the SMEs as such, right? And I think what sets us apart from others in the ecosystem is our focus on SMEs. The competition that we have from a challenger banking standpoint is from players who do not solve just for SMEs. They solve for a larger set of users, and SMEs happen to be one of them. So, we are just SME focused, and we are the leading SME focused challenger bank in the UK. We have close to 7% market share in the UK market as we speak, and we built a pretty successful business and a brand in UK. Our at core of our offering lies a bank account which we offer in partnership with Clearbank. But along with that, we bring bunch of other features for SMEs to which help them in managing their financials and admin overall, and save them a lot of time and money. Right? They do not need to go to professionals for solving things like taxation, invoicing, etc. Right? We also bring working capital to them. We bring ability to getting paid digitally, collections, etc. All that to them on one platform. The way we do it, right? We have our own tide label products, and we also work with leading service providers in the ecosystem to bring their services onto the platform, which could be useful for SMEs. So that's in nutshell what we do in the UK. Now, considering we have a significant market share in UK, now our focus is shifting to other markets in the world. So India is our first market outside of UK that we have decided to pursue. And broadly, what we feel is that the problems of SMEs are very similar worldwide, right? And our aspiration is to be serving around 25% of SMEs globally at some point in time, right? Now, to solve for that, I think India is a very important and interesting market. Uh, there is the sheer size is huge, and as such, structurally we are from a governance standpoint, UK and India are very similar, right? And hence India is our choice of expansion. And essentially, we want to solve for similar pain points in the India market, and cater to a similar TG, which is micro and small entrepreneurs. And we look forward to adding value to this segment and solve for their financial needs. Our aspiration is to have close to a million members on our platform over next few years.
Sure. And you're in beta right now, or you haven't?
Yes, we are in beta right now, and we should be going out in the market early 22.
Right, excellent. And you would like to target 1 million by, you said, 2024, 23.
uh, probably, yeah, in 3 years we should be at
2 years. Sure.
around a million.
Now, let me just expand further on the comparison between the UK and the Indian market, and of course, the market structure is broadly the same. But I would imagine, when it comes to real, getting done with the partnerships, the kind of enablers that are there between the Indian market or the and the UK market, there would be certain differences, nuances, and provision of financial services in India will require certain market idiosyncratic nuances compared to the UK market, for which you will have to do heavy amount of customization. Is that a fair assessment? And leading on to that, would be in terms of your partners. So how do you go about looking for who should be your partner?
This is actually very interesting, right? Let me just start from a market standpoint, right? If I uh, compare the UK and India markets, right? I think, as I said, from a governance standpoint, we are pretty similar, right? That's that. Um, but from an open banking standpoint, right, where UK market is today, I think we have some distance to travel. That's one. Second is, are we on the path to do that? I believe yes. Right, we are on the path to do that. There are a bunch of players in the ecosystem who have the kind of APIs, or who have the kind of platform or rail set, on which or with which players like us could deliver the experience which we intend to, right? So from that standpoint, I think that's a bit of challenge. The way ecosystem is set from an open banking standpoint, I think that is pretty advanced in the UK. I believe India as a market, we are where a market like UK was 2.5 years back, right? But I believe India as a market has this virtue where we could cover those times in a shorter duration. So I think we have started on that path, and over next 1.5 years, I think we would see a lot of traction in terms of the open banking or digital banking frameworks and enablers. So I think that's one part of the story. Second is from building the product standpoint, right? Wherever we need to work with a partner, so of course that has to happen. There has to be India specific banking partner. There has to be India specific partner from other pieces standpoint, say cards, etc., right? The taxation regime is very different. So of course we have to customize for India from a partner standpoint, as well as for areas which are very different. So taxation is very different. There are certain pieces in payment. So for example, UPI, which is very different. But if we talk about cards, that's pretty similar, right? Same schemes, things are very similar. So that's it's a combination, but yes, it's some legwork upfront. It's not very seamless for products like us to go into newer markets. We have to do our research homework well. We have to get the partner right, and then we have to execute upfront or invest upfront a lot in order to get the product and experience up and running in the market. And that's been our experience.
Sure. And I'm assuming that going forward, you would like to bring in a very different set of partners, keep adding more value to the proposition that you offer to the MSMEs. Um, so, so when you look at the partners or potential partners, how do you go about thinking about who should partner? I'm talking about non-banking partners, non-FS, and is it more about what is it that MSMEs are currently looking for? They may look for. Or how do you think about that?
Excellent. So I'll just give you two examples, right, of our very recent partnerships from a UK standpoint. Right? We partnered with Edian and Sage, right, to bring their respective payments acceptance piece to SMEs, and from a Sage standpoint to streamline the taxation and accounting for SMEs, right? The way we go about doing this is that we look at bunch of partners in the market. We also have our own capabilities in these areas, right? But from a partner standpoint, we look at partners from a technology and experience enablement standpoint, because our member, the experience of the member is pretty critical from our standpoint, right? Uh, and it has to be delivered in the shape and form. The experience has to be at a level which the member is used to from a tied platform standpoint. So technology is very important, parameter here. And then along with that, scalability of those platforms to bring things to tide as a platform, and agility of the same, because the product has to iterate and grow with the market. So we have a very clear partner label product strategy. We have a very clear tied label product strategy, and in there are areas in which both exist, right? So essentially what we intend, our aim is to bring the best suited product from a SME standpoint, right? And hence, similarly, in the Indian market, we are already speaking to bunch of partners, but we see a lot of scope of partnering with fintechs who provide some set of these pieces to SMEs, in depth. So be it taxation, be it acquiring, right, or the related pieces. And that's the framework we would follow in India. uh, Overall, I think one piece which would really work well for us is to work with global players here as well, right? Because it makes the platform scalable and replicating in a newer market easier. So that's other piece which we try to be we try to look for a global player which would enable us in multiple geographies. But in certain areas, the best partner may not be in multiple geographies. Specifically, say for example, taxation. It's very market specific thing, right? So that's in those kind of pieces we may not get such a partner, but we try to get a global or a partner which is in larger number of geographies to be on the platform, and hence makes the platform more scalable and agile.
Excellent. So let's see. There is some criticism on the other side of the neobanks, right, and or the challenger banks, as you called it, that it is an experience layer on top of the same banking stack, and to an extent, one could potentially argue that the points of failures in the chain have increased because of an added layer on top of it, right? So, what would be the argument in favor of customers moving in large swaths, right? So, obviously, there will be some early adopters. There would be people who will be very gung ho, but it would. What do you think will really work for you to get to the 1 million ambition that you have?
Um, right. So I think the argument is pretty fair, right? That you made. My my feel is, or my sense is, that for platforms like us to be successful or to be appealing to the segment, and I'm talking specifically about SMEs here, is that you need to solve a lot more than just the core banking offering or proposition. You need to look at the financials, and taxation and admin as one set of as one set, and accordingly solve for bunch of use cases and problems for the SMEs, bring lot more value to the SMEs rather than just banking, right? I think if we do that and focus on that, that's what will help us succeed. This is what has helped us succeed in UK. We just do not bring a bank account, but we bring a a value-added, robust platform for enterprise to manage their overall bouquet of financials, taxations, and admin on one platform, right? And that's what we intend to do in the India market as well. And as you do that, right, the banks essentially, or the bank account holder, becomes your partner, right? And that's how we will transition towards a open banking, kind of a world where the owner of the account could embed the account on a platform and use. So that's, I think that's the way forward. The challenger bank, so to say, should not be competing just on core banking. I think if that is the case, there will be struggle. I think there has to be partnership in both, and the value that a challenger bank or a platform that brings to a consumer or a SME has to be much more than just the core banking.
Right. No, very well put. I completely agree, and I think that's the way to look at it. Now, obviously, there is a lot of overlap you would have with banks at the back end, in terms of just setting up the whole thing and getting it working. How hard? What's been the struggle there, or has it been a breeze so far?
Well, I think it's been a good journey. It's been a good journey so far, working with partners. Um, I think we have very robust rails in place, and I believe the kind of APIs or the kind of platforms which banks and other financial institutions today have, right? They're quite advanced, and by the day there is improvement. There is a lot of agility also going on there, right? As you push or want to deliver an experience, there's a lot of collaboration which is happening between financial institutions and fintechs to build for that, right? Always the API or a rail would be built for one player to start with, but over time it is democratized, right? And the followers in the ecosystem get benefit of that. So uh, so there is effort, there is time which it takes, there is investment that it takes, but overall I think it's good, positive journey, right? And I believe a lot of digitization which has happened from a banking rail standpoint over last few years, I think that has gone a long way in being an enabler for this. And I believe the hard work that fintechs like us are doing with the financial institutions, specifically banks, I think that will go a long way in our transition or in our journey where we move towards a more open ecosystem from a financial services standpoint.
I think it helps the banks as well, tremendously, and new thought, fresh thought, new propositions coming in, and then there is this confluence of the traditional bank and the new thought that comes together to build exciting propositions and push the frontier. I think that's very exciting.
Yeah.
Now,
And
please, the banks, yeah.
just to add, the excellent thing about the ecosystem today and the times that we are in uh, is that the so-called traditional sector, which is the banking sector, is very open to collaboration, right? And there is a lot of exchange of thoughts, ideas, where both these set of organizations, fintechs as well as financial institutions, are learning from each other, and are collaborating to bring in improved versions of the ecosystem or rails, so to say. So I think that's the beauty. There is the time of inertia is gone. Today, it's more about collaboration. It's more about openness, which is very refreshing and very exciting.
Excellent. And how supportive has been the regulator to in India to get you to achieve your ambitions?
Well, see, we are working with partners, not directly with regulator as such, right? But overall, I think the framework which regulator has set, right, and the directional steps which regulator is taking, I think that's very encouraging and exciting, right? So for example, through the pandemic there has been a huge push towards digitization. So I believe regulator has taken all the right steps to enable. Post that, the kind of push which has come on PPI, right? The way PPIs have been strengthened. So I think that's another movement in the right direction. And the recent paper on digital banking by Niti Aayog, I think that's another signal of the things to come. Overall, our reading is that regulator is very clear that technology will play a very important role in financial inclusion, and hence the ecosystem is moving towards a more open framework and a more technology driven framework. So that is very refreshing and good, and hence we believe we are moving in the right direction. And I believe fintechs will play a very important role in taking financial services. It's not just about banking, right? Even credit, insurance, all these kind of pieces to segments which have been underserved till now. And somewhere, I think the larger financial institutions, banks as well as other financial institutions, also understand and accept that, right? So I think the pieces are in the right area, and we are pushing in the right direction to take these things to the next level of financial inclusion.
Excellent. And finally, what do you have a marker or a territory, geography, country that you believe is significantly uh, ahead in the curve, and that is one territory worth emulating, be it the regulatory structure there, the market structure, the enablers, the tech paradigm.
Yeah. So see, from an open banking standpoint, I believe Europe is quite advanced, but within that, right? And though they are separate from EU now, UK is quite advanced, and I think that also is visible from the fact that the number of neo banking platforms that have emerged out of UK, or UK becoming the fintech hub, so to say, from Europe's standpoint. I think that's quite a standout achievement. So I believe UK is one market which we could directionally try to move towards, right? The good part is that post Brexit, right, UK and India are collaborating at a different level, which is very good. The UK India corridor is a corridor which is becoming very significant in world trade as such, right? And for players like us, which are in these both markets, I think it's a good opportunity for players like us. Considering we have similar governance structure, I think that helps, and that directionally also helps us move in a way, or on the journey which UK has had. So I think we are on the right path and in the right direction to emulate the advanced open banking market which the UK is. And I think the success or the numbers will be much more astonishing because of the sheer fact that the size of the market, right? But along with that, the amount of people to which financial services have to reach in the right shape and form, right? So those numbers are huge. So I believe the impact which we will deliver with this in a market like India will be of a very different order, and I think that's the need of the hour.
Excellent. No, I completely agree. I think uh, India can be a huge bellwether when it comes to just pushing. And given that the there is a wide spectrum of the readiness of the customers to become digital and be more savvy. It does make sense that we'll always have early adopters and then followers, and then the whole market will change color. That's been great insights, Gurjod. Thank you very much for joining us today. And that's it, folks. Thank you for tuning in. This was FinTalks at bobWorld, presented by Bank of Baroda, India's international bank. I hope this series is of help to everyone listening in. Do get in touch with us and send us feedback, suggestions on what you'd like us to cover in the future episodes. That's it for now. I'm Akhil Handa, and this has been FinTalks at bobWorld.
IVM.